Hello, everybody. So we'll just wait another 20 or 30 seconds or so for other people to join the room because it wasn't possible. Hopefully, it wasn't possible for anyone to join before I joined because we only have 40 minutes of the program before it shuts itself down. It's the free version. So yes, we do have 40 minutes to go through the things that we're going to look at today. If you could all just find, if you sort of take your cursor to the top or to the bottom of your screen, you should be able to find the chat box. We will be using that at points during the presentation. So I'll just type something. If it works for me, the chat box, if I say hello, everyone. And if you could just make sure your cameras are turned off as well, that would be grand. I think the microphone should also be turned off. If you could just make sure that that's the case before we start, and we'll get going. Okay, so is everybody's microphones off? We'll soon find out anyway. So without further ado, good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon, pardon me. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining me. It is a beautiful day, and it is a Sunday, so I really appreciate it. You all giving up 40 minutes of your time to be here with us. So my name is James, if you didn't know already, as it says on the screen, and we're going to be looking at revision activities for the upcoming Year 12 exams, English exams, and also there'll be a section at the end about overcoming exam anxiety. So I hope all of these things will be useful for you. I'd also like you to share your own activities, your own experiences at the end. We'll try to leave a few minutes for sort of extra comments and questions at the end before that 40 minutes runs out. So without further ado, the activities that we're going to look at will be looking specifically at the grammar section of the speaking exams, the writing exams, and also the use of language exam in general. Why are we going to pick on the grammar from all the different characteristics, all the different parts of the exam, all the different criteria that there are? Well, as Lydia and Tatiana showed us, were any of you at the Latte conference on the 5th of January? Ginter was. I was. I know Rob was. Good. A few of you were there. So many of you will have seen these graphs already, so excuse the repetition. We won't dwell too long, but I just want to make the point, the general point of the comparative weakness of grammar overall in the data. It was actually really interesting to be able to see this data from Lydia and Tatiana's presentation, from the results of all of the students who took the exam, the English exam last year. So as we can see here, the speaking is actually the strongest overall, which was followed by reading with an average of 62. You can see the distribution there. You'll be able to see these slides on the Latte website later on if you want to go back and sort of look at the details. And that was followed by listening with an average of 60%. Writing, which was down at 55, and then use of language, which was down at an average of 50%. So quite a big difference between the strongest exam and the weakest, which was the use of language, which, as we all know, is predominantly based on grammar exercises. And as for the criteria in the writing, this was fascinating actually for me. Overall, the grammar the grammar criteria, for the marking criteria, was the weakest point for students overall in Latvia. And this was mirrored in the speaking part, where again grammar was our weakest link from all of the different criteria. You know this now. I hope you know this now already, but as they explained, the exam's a bit different this year, and it only consists of 2 parts instead of 3. But the main marking criteria, vocabulary, grammar, and fluency and pronunciation, are the same. So we hope to be able to do something about that grammar section with some last-minute activities, last-minute revision exercises that we're going to look at today. And so yes, we're going to look at grammar activities. These are just suggestions. They can be adapted. They should be adapted to the level and the needs of your learners. And of course, they're not a exhaustive list of activities, but the ones that I've chosen are the most interactive that I've used. Past exams are fine. Past exams are great, but it's getting to the point in preparation 10, 11 days before the exam where many of the students have already completed all of the past exams. And hopefully you know as the teacher that there are certain aspects of grammar which are always coming up and are always acting as the Achilles heel for our students. So you can adapt these activities to try and work on those little bits at the last minute, as we are now. So without further ado, let's start looking at the grammar revision activities, and we'll start with some activities for speaking. And the first thing, this isn't revolutionary at all, but the first thing that I think is important is that the students know the rules of the game. And we can let them know the rules of the game by giving them the criteria.